All right, one down. Welcome. I think we're getting live, getting both streams going. Got a couple things posted, a couple things shared. And get that in there. Let me get this one in there. Get back to here. Welcome, Alan. Text. Boom, there we go. All righty. Alan White, Brian Alvey, Bill Hannigan, Scott Hutchins, Sean McMichael. Good seeing you this weekend, Sean. Jeremy Black's in the house. I've got a couple posts that I've already, a couple of comments I've already posted out there, just some links we'll talk about here in a little bit. Ryan Gabriel, Herb Brown. Greetings, Jeremy. Daniel Rittler, Katie Winters. Katie Winters, I just got notification. I got a snow day too. So thumbs up. All my things just started beeping about 15 minutes ago, telling me that I got to stay home tomorrow. So Brad Berger and Scott Hutchins with the Texas check-in. Scott, we'll talk privately later, but I talked to Cordis a little while ago and about kind of what him and I've been talking about. So I want to make that happen. Alan's thinking about that breakfast burger. That did look pretty good. But so did Smitty's Pizza. Cordis is in the house. Steven. Diane Palomba, Brad Berger piece. Wow, everybody's like flying in. Steven Smith's in the house. James Gann. I think everybody's got a snow day, so everybody's checking in hot. Ryan Palomba's in the house. Tommy Jeffries. Mike Pickle. Oh, Katie says that your district hasn't. Mine just called a little while ago. It was like 15 minutes ago, so. Renee's in the house. What's up, Renee? Albert Simon. Good to see you in Quincy this weekend. Albert, I didn't know you were doing single speed, man. That was awesome. I just saw the results. I didn't think about it, and I didn't look at your bike when we were sitting there talking. That's cool. Mike Pickle's riding his bike and watching. Yeah, that was Amelia that had that. It was like this giant chicken pot pie. It was monster at Bricktown Brewery after the Gravel Growler. That was pretty wild. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Stephen Cordis says Big Dog says hi. I just want to say hi back to Brandon, hanging out at Steve's, probably in Steve's new office with all of his sweet computer screens at home. Buster Brown's joined. Todd Carpenter and GT. Forrest Smith has been absent for a couple weeks, and he's back. Aaron King, Trip Harrison. Yo, what's up, Trip? And Hannah's joined. Good timing there. Once again, I am streaming. I'm going to pop over here and take a quick look. Oh, yeah. So, hey, I'm actually streaming both live YouTube as well as Facebook. I will try to check over every now and then on YouTube just to kind of check with comments over there. But honestly, that's a pretty big ask. I probably need to have two monitors. I just haven't rigged that up yet. Actually, I'm looking at I have like a 50-inch TV. That's my computer monitor. So I probably should just like split that up. But anyway, I'll check over to YouTube every now and then. So you guys will see that. So. Let's see, man, everybody's happening. And I think we got a lot of people checking in quick. Hunter Farrington, Stacy Cook, GT, what's up? Oh, Albert says that was an error. I was geared. I'm not sure what happened. Okay. Well, I didn't think you rode single speed, but then I saw that in the results and I was like, yeah, I thought I missed something there. So what's up, Hannah? Hey, Stacy. Ryan West. Jackson Renshaw, the 35-mile single-speed champion, and that you guys all dressed up, so you guys really did the Gravel Growler right. Jason Engelke, what's up? And Quincy's in the house. Quincy, I hope Ava's watching. Tell her the Wizards looking forward to seeing her at the next time she gets down and does a race. Nah, no school for Jason either. Same. I just got my notification a little bit ago. Jason said about 15, 20 minutes ago for me. Amy Killar's in the house. Hey, Amy. Hope things are okay where you're at in Tulsa. Getting things taken care of. Brian McGinnis joined. Angela Cordes. Kai Cordes. Trish Draper. Yeah, Jason's a first timer this year. He's been kind of slacking, so welcome. Drew Hartling. Hey, I'm gonna click over here. I had one person actually check in on YouTube. Bryce Nichols. Hey, I said hey back to Bryce. So hey, Bryce or anybody else that checks over here on YouTube, you might have to be patient with me. It's hard for me to flip back and forth between my tabs. So Jackson Renshaw, I think that that statement could just be put on a T-shirt for you. So Jackson Renshaw just said that we definitely had the most fun. I think you guys could probably take that title almost anytime you guys ride bikes. So Scott Hudson, State of the Union. Well, you know me. I mean, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, so why would I watch the State of the Union address? Not my thing. My opinion doesn't mean shit. And I don't really think about all that stuff too much because I can't do much about it. So I think my opinion probably just makes things worse. So I don't follow those things because it's not fun. And this is fun. So we're going to talk bikes instead. Much cooler. Oh. Stacy says, must be nice with all of us being off in schools. Neither rain nor sleet. So what you get for working for the U.S. Postal Service. Todd says I picked the Wizard instead of Trump. Heck yeah. Kevin Widener's in the house. I guess Kevin got out and back in. What's happening, Kevin? Okay, let's get going. I had a lot of check-ins, a lot of just chit-chat. We're 7 minutes in. I am going to flip back over real quick. Just make sure nothing's happening on YouTube. We're good. Clint Walk joined. Let's get rolling. Upcoming events. Just going to do a quick gravel growler recap. Talk about Kai Cordes's college signing, Charlie Lingerfelt's event coming up this weekend, and some USAC changes. In addition to anything that you guys might want to talk about, just throw it out my way, and I'll try to do my best to answer. Like I said, feel free to comment, ask questions about the topics that I'm discussing, and I'll definitely try to answer a question as well as maybe point you in the right direction, whatever you guys have questions about. And it doesn't have to be related to stuff I'm talking about. If you got random questions, throw them out. I'll try to address them. Pick a time tonight and throw them at the end, and we can do like a Q&A. USAC changes. So I put that last. That's going to be my big topic. I think today it'll probably be an hour. Most of mine are because I tend to get long-winded and I get to get chatty. There's a lot of you guys on, so that means we're probably going to get a lot of random conversations, and that's good. And we're just going to go from there. So that's it. I want to save the USAC for last. That'll be my main topic. I think some of you have been seeing some of the stuff out here, out on Facebook world. There was supposed to be a release yesterday, today, but I talked to a couple of contacts at USAC, and it did not happen. Or if it did, I haven't seen it yet. I had a pretty crazy day today, so I haven't had a chance to really look for that. Shockingly, they had an issue with their website. So I'm sure that's all surprising for you guys. Not. So they will be releasing, although I do have the information that I need. And I've been given the okay to go ahead and talk about it. So I will, and that'll be my main subject. So let's go. I had a few check in. Clint. Oh yeah, I got Clint. Derek Gosser. Derek, what's happening? Saw your video. Good stuff. Your next one, we're gonna try to film another one this Friday, so that's gonna be cool. Joel Farrow, what's happening? Clint Locke, howdy. Debbie and Tom Ugleen, I guess that's just Debbie. I guess maybe I saw Tom's name earlier. At least it's a Debbie. Kyle Beckel's in the house. Kevin Snyder, and hey, Debbie. Let's go ahead and jump on the first subject. I'm going to kind of flip these a little bit. For me, I usually do upcoming events kind of second. I'm going to go ahead and just knock these out of the way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. Of course, I say that every time, and then I get caught up and start talking about that particular event. And bad habit, but just kind of part of the gig for me. So, oh yeah, I guess I need to turn back. I didn't flip my pages back when I was studying a minute ago, studying my notes. This weekend is fairly open. I did have another event pop up on my radar. It's not a race event. It's kind of an event. It is my friend Charlie Lingerfelt's event, and I'm going to talk about it more in its own segment. So he has a gravel camp camping thing. Talk more about it here in a minute. It's happening this weekend. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. Also, it is one of the last open weekends for me. I mean, I think it's open for most everybody, unless you're doing some other events. I think there is a gravel race that Hodges Bend that I did see that I wasn't aware of until this weekend, happening this weekend on, is it this weekend? No, I think it might be I think it's the 15th. I think it's the 15th. So it's not this weekend. It's the 15th, I believe, which is the same weekend as Chili Bike and the Draper Multisport Multistrada Velo. I always screw that up. So anyway, so this weekend is open, I think. I'm going to do a lot of pre-riding at Steed. I've got several groups coming down Saturday. I've got a group coming down Friday at noon. So I'm cutting out early to go meet the group at noon. And Derek Gossard's coming down with that group to do a pre-ride, and he's going to loan me his camera. And I'm going to give you guys a single speed look at the course. Probably a little slippery. I don't know. Depends on what we get tonight. So far, nothing. All it is cold and windy, but I think we'll see what happens overnight and into the morning. But the course will be rideable. I think the weather's still supposed to be okay this weekend. So just going to make it happen. Friday, several groups coming out. I've got some friends coming up from Oklahoma City, teammates from Oklahoma City. I've got a Mike Frazier and his crew of crazies from Black Cat Racing out of Dallas, Texas are going to come up and get a little Steed action on Saturday as well too. So Sunday's open. I'll be around. I don't have a plan, but we'll see what happens. February 16th, doubling up for that weekend. We have Chili Bike and we have the Draper Multistrada Velo. I just said Draper. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, that was the Draper Multistrada Velo and Chili Bike. I don't know if I said that right the first time. I can't remember, but it's Chili Bike. I mean, a lot of people have done Chili Bike many years. We've done it. Goal is try to do all four of the loops out at Lake McMurtry. T-shirts for completing that, and chili afterwards, and cool hangout. It's a good way to start the season. I'm shifting gears a little bit with this new event, and I'm going to try to support the new one. I think they're actually going to probably do some give back to the trails in Stilley. So, since they conflicted with their day, so we'll be all good. We still don't have the exact plan for that, but the idea is they have this route that they ride all the time. It's a 40-mile route. Consists of road, gravel, single track, all the above, so you can bring whatever bike you want. I'm probably going to gravel bike it, although I think a lot will probably mountain bike it, and even maybe a handful road bike it. So pick your poison. It's going to be very unofficial. I don't know if it's going to actually be a race. Probably not. Probably just be kind of a hang, and you pay $25 or something and call it a day. So that's my plan on the 16th. I don't have the exact time yet. It's probably posted, and I just haven't looked. Honestly, I would imagine about 9-ish, 10-ish, probably. So that's my plan on the 16th. Then we follow up with the first Tour de Dirt race of the season, Lake Tom Steed. I've been talking a lot about that. It's my home course, and hasn't been in the series since 2006, and it was a staple prior to that. And glad it's back, at least for now. Temporarily, probably. I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. But February 23rd. So if you plan on racing this, you really need to pre-ride it if you've never seen it. This weekend's probably going to be the last weekend other than the day before on race weekend. It'll be tough to get out. Well, you can get out on the 16th weekend if you choose to not do these other events, but I'll be doing other events, so I probably won't be around to do any leads to help you guys. We follow up immediately on March the 1st with St. Crispin's, and saw a cool post with Mike, one of the managers out at St. Crispin's Park, and looks like Mike's going to be on the Seminole, I guess, board for the city board. So that's kind of a cool thing. I just saw that post pop up. So congratulations on that, Mike Roberts. Him and Joanne are, run the show out at St. Crispin's, and then they're cyclists and runners and have been, we've been doing their race 6 years, I think 7. I don't know. It all runs together. Long time. So let me check in real quick. I got a bunch of people popped in here. So, wow, a lot of people popped in. Tony Stewart, Robert Ferris, Dave Isbell, Kevin Bates. Oh, I missed Barbara. Barbara Waskywik. I don't know. Barbara, I've met you, but I still can't say your last name. I'm terrible. With pronunciations. Alan White posted February 15th for Kellyville, so I got that right. That's that Hodges Bend gravel race. Whew, that'll be a tough double up to do that and then turn around and do something on the 16th, but hell, who knows? I haven't made up my mind yet, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get stupid again and go do it. Thanks, Robert. Yep, no worries, man. Jetty Harrison's here. Dylan Postier. Saw your video, Dylan. Good stuff. Brian Steiners. Craig McIntyre joined. We'll talk about Craig in a bit and everything happened this weekend. Darren Hall, Stephanie Timmermeyer, Susan Young, Andrew Foster. Oh, my screen just jumped up. Karen Christensen. Craig McIntyre is just now. Oh, he just must have got out and joined again. Mitch Armstrong's in the house. Colton Lee Albert, excited to race for the first time this year. Excellent, Colton. Glad you're racing. And if you're going to make it out at Steed, come get a pre-ride and definitely come find me, and we'll walk you through all the steps you need since it's your first one. And just come find me, and we'll get her all taken care of. Wascovile. Heidi Blackman's giving me like the pronunciation for Barbara's name. Thank you, Heidi. Barb. Let's call her Barb. We all know who she is. John Denton joined. All righty. I still have to finish the schedule. Hey, Charlie. I'm not going to comment, but I did see you. I see you over there on YouTube, so I'll check in every now and then to make sure. So, hey, Charlie, I am talking, but I'm not seeing all the comments over on YouTube because I have to flip tabs. I stay on Facebook mostly because that's where most of the people are at. So, let's see, and that leaves us with March 7th. So March 7th, probably a mostly off weekend for the mountain bikers, but there are 2 things going on that weekend. I'm probably, barring something unusual, headed to Kansas that weekend. It's the first race of the 4-race series that they have. They do a 50-mile race series where you basically usually it's a 25-mile loop, and you do it twice. And for the 50, and they have a series of 4 races. This is the first race. It's called the Rage Against the Chainring, and this is the number 1 race. And so look that up. Just look up Rage Against the Chainring. You'll find the series. So we conflict with at least 2 of those events. So I'm gonna try to make this one and possibly another. But super cool, super grassroots, fun, great group of guys, and had a good time doing the last one last year, and hopefully we'll get to go down and do that again. Also on the 7th, if you're into doing some roadie stuff, they got Land Rond, and that's probably actually I don't know if it's all on the 7th. That might be like a 7th and 8th. It might be a 2-day weekend. I'm honestly not sure. I haven't looked at that schedule yet. But it's a road. They're going to have road races, crit races, the whole works, the whole weekend, college, adult, everything. So definitely go check that out in Norman, Land Ronde. And that leads us into March 14th, the day before my birthday, Mid-South. So this weekend was a good prep for that, the gravel grout. And so better bring your A game for Mid-South. It's going to be a cool weekend. I'm off on spring break that whole week and weekend. So I don't know what my plans are. I might go down early and hang out, and I don't know. Just kind of wait and see. Still trying to get a plan for that. And then last on my schedule, but I'll start adding to that gradually, is March 22nd, and that is going to be our third Tier to Dirt race of the season, and usually one of the bigger races, just because of the locale. A lot of people in the Oklahoma City area can get there. Tulsa can drive down really easy. Southwest Oklahoma can drive down easy, and even some of our Texas folks can get there a little bit easier. So just location-wise, they typically have a pretty, and they have a pretty cool event, cool course. It's going to be a Sooner Stampede at Lake Thunderbird, and that is March 22nd. So that's the upcoming events. All right, let's go see what happened. Hey, Colton, yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, just locate me and tell me who you are. I'm telling you, I'm terrible with names, and honestly, I haven't looked at your profile, so I don't even know what you look like yet without clicking on it. But I can't click on it without throwing me all out of all my screens. So Jim Brewer is in the house. Man, I haven't talked to you in forever, Jim. Glad you're checking in and seeing what's going on. And Mike Roberts actually just checked in from St. Crispin's. And Charlie checked in over here. So we're going to talk about you in a bit, Charlie. S.A. Smith, what's happening? Roy Pemberton, Tommy Duvall, and John Denton's in the house. Heidi Blackman says, hard to find rooms for Stillwater, and I can only imagine. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe the weather's going to be nice and I can just sleep in my car. I do that a lot. It's kind of convenient. Eddie Reimer and Lisa Norris both joined. Welcome. All righty. Okay, let's rock on. Let's move. Kelsey Collin, what's up, Kelsey? Stillwater. I have SGG. Shawnee Gravel Growler. This weekend, it happened. We rode bikes for a really long way. Weather was weird, crazy, beautiful. It was technically winter. I guess it is. Tonight's showing that, but it sure didn't feel like winter this weekend. I'm pretty sure I got a sunburn a couple of times this weekend. We went down, or I went down pretty much. Quincy says, hi from Ava. Go Kids Cup. Hi, Ava. Glad you're checking in. The Wizard says, hey, I miss you guys. I went down and just really hung out. Didn't do much. I was down there pretty early on Friday, probably by about 2 or 3 o'clock. Got my packet, hung out, drank a couple beers, chatted with Craig and the boys, and didn't do all that much. And then my buddy Smitty came down. We decided to go ride for a little while because it was nice. And so we just threw on cleats and rode in our clothes, and we rode the back part of the course just to see the finish was like. Rode for about 30 minutes and then came back, called it a day, and we went and ate. And that was it. Checked in hotel, went to sleep, and then got the next day to do some riding. So it was really chilly in the morning. I think it was right at freezing. Probably when we started, maybe 34. But we knew, within 30 minutes, it was supposed to warm up significantly. And, within the 2 hours, it's supposed to be like 15 degrees warmer. And then 3 hours later, it was supposed to be like 60. So I went with regular gloves, regular shoes, like just an undershirt under my kit. And I wore arm warmers and leg warmers, and then the little neck gaiter, and called it a day. And that let me stop at the halfway checkpoint, stripped both arm warmers. I wore a vest, stripped my vest, threw it in a pile, and thanks to Angela and Steve Cordes for getting that for me. And then I rolled on. So that was the only stop that I had to make, and ended up being nice. So the rollout was kind of crazy. We did like a 6 or 7 mile rollout, pretty long, and man, I was freezing my butt off at that point because we weren't moving very fast and I wasn't generating body heat. I was literally shaking as we were riding for that. But then we finally reached the gravel point, and the cars cut us loose, and man, it got fast, really fast. So I chased with the group, and then had the group come over me, and I went with them for a little while trying to chase back up to the lead group. But they were just going too fast for me, and there's no way I could maintain that pace with one gear. So I rode a 4017, which was probably the right gear, but they blew me out, and then I couldn't stay with the chase group, and this kind of left me out in no man's land forever. And so I looked back, and man, like a mile back or more, I could see like a really, really big group. So I just set up and waited for that group, and then off and on pretty much until the halfway point, we had a really, really big group. Rode with handful of people pretty much all day, or at least until the halfway point. Lori McCarty, Abby Shalbrisky, Jeremy Black, Seth Likens. I don't know. There was a handful of people. I mean, there was several of us all in each other's space for a while. And honestly, it's at a couple of points, our group swelled up to like 40 people. And it was pretty wild how that all worked. So, but it was fun, fun and cool. And then we hit like mile 20, and I think I felt like we climbed from like mile 20 to like mile 65. Maybe the last 15 were okay, clean. Actually, the last 15 for me sucked because we went east and got tailwind, and then I got blown out because I can't go that fast. But the climbs are good, good rolling climbs. A lot of them back to back. Only a couple of them were fairly steep, but nothing that a 4017 couldn't deal with. So I actually kind of enjoyed the climbing. It worked. It was good for me. But yeah, I had a good time. It was an interesting course. So the only hard part for me was there was a lot of flats in between different sections of climbs. And so the geared guys would just make it hard for me every time we did that. So, and then finally, like I think 12 to go or something like that that's what Craig just chimed in and said that was about right. The last 15 were flat-ish, and yeah, at some point we got flat, and then I just hung on, and then we hit a couple of road sections, and all of a sudden we hit an east section with a tailwind, and I soloed from there because there was nobody around. And I was not staying with that group, but it was awesome. We had giveaways. We had Frankie Andreu doing the announcing. We had 450 people on bikes, 50 runners, just doing amazing stuff. Lots of people, lots of cool stuff happening. Things going on downtown. And the day was just freaking beautiful. Beautiful. If you're going to dial up weather, that was a perfect day. So, I guess Ted King for the win, for the overall men, but we want to stick local. So we got Rob Bell, Oklahoma City, third place in the overall. That's pretty swinging. So good job, Rob. And then our very own Kai Cordes first in the open. So I guess they had the pro category and then they had the open category. And so Kai got 8th overall, I believe, and first in the open category. So pretty badass. We're going to talk about Kai a little bit more in a minute. Let's see. Oh, I didn't win the bike. I didn't win the loft bike. I don't know who did. So, damn. I was bummed, but not surprised. I don't win stuff like that. So let's say I missed some check-ins. So Let's see. Let's see. Dustin Easter joined. What's happening, Dustin? Craig McIntyre is in the house. Marco Garofalo, hey, from Canada. What's happening, Marco? Haven't talked to you in a while. I know you moved off on us. So I've got some buddies fixing to move to Canada. I've got Kansas on my brain just because I saw Quincy's name a minute ago. Yeah, so hopefully you're getting some riding in there. I guess you're probably doing some snow riding. Daniel Lemons joined. What's happening, Daniel? Daniel, still need to get down and come ride Steve. I know you're used to riding your easy trails up in Wichita Falls, but you need to come down and get some rocks. Jerry Puckett. Yeah, Craig said the police took it very seriously that we went too fast last year. Yeah, they did. I guess Desiree rolled up to them and asked them if they could speed up, and they said no. In the story, they said no, we can only go 10. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, they're the law. So. Then Alan said 10 mile an hour to 25 in less than 5 seconds. Pretty much, yeah. I was sitting like, I don't know, 30 back, you know, figuring I'd just kind of move up with the blob. And no. Sitting 30 back, and it's like 30 gone. Craig said Ted King averaged over 21 mile per hour. That's crazy. And then Jay Black, yeah. So Jay Black, my buddy Jeremy Black, he got a little taste of the life of a single speeder. So we're not 10 miles in, and I'm riding with him, and we're kind of taking turns into some wind, and he's going click, 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 and it's like, and it's just not working. So he had like 3 gears that worked all day. So everybody was thinking that he was riding like an idiot, but he was actually riding like a single speeder. So he had to attack all these hills like we did. And everybody's like, what's he doing? And they know that, you know, I do it because I only have 1 gear, but they didn't know he was doing the same thing for the same reason. So I think he had some muscle soreness from standing up in those climbs when he's used to just shifting and sitting. So welcome to my world. Austin Edgar joined, and Austin had a great race too. I never saw it. Well, I heard Austin talking in the pack during the neutral rollout, but then he was gone after that. So. Bike went to Enid, so somebody in Enid won the loft bike. That's cool, Craig. Cool. So someone pretty close. Andy Dyke, what's happening? It's all good on the rollout. I'm just giving you guys a hard time, Andy. It was, for me, it was just, I mean, it was a little long, and I was worried about people crashing because people get all sketchy during that. But for me, I was just freezing balls. I was okay, and then like we started moving, but we had wind, but we weren't going enough to generate body heat. So the whole neutral rollout, I'm just shaking, just shivering. So then as soon as we turned it up, it was all good. So it's all fun. Craig, man, that is so right. Craig replied to Jeremy's comment about riding single speed. He says, you always bring a busted bike. It is 2 years in a row, because last year, yeah, you guys had to hook him up with a tire because he blew a tire off the rim literally right before the start. So I'd forgotten about that. That's awesome. Dennis Nadolny, what's happening, Dennis? Yeah, exactly. So Tony says at least Jeremy's tire didn't blow off in the parking lot this year. Yeah, no, for sure. Tanner Colbreth, Kevin Caldwell, Pat and Bryce, what's happening, guys? Got a lot of people checking in. That's cool. Oh wow! So I think I'm going to wrap the Gravel Growler. It was my 3rd year, and I love it. It's just I love what Craig and Andy and Isabel and Shawnee Gravel Grinders, Griver. I don't know what your Facebook group is. You're the Shawnee Gravel Grinders, I think. You guys do a lot of work up there and a lot of cool stuff. I really liked going that direction. I liked going out south and then coming back. That was neat, and had another great time, another great weekend, and I'll see you guys next year. Simple as that. And maybe I'll win the bike next year. But the the Lof, I can't pronounce his name because it's like in some other. I mean, they live in another country, in Iceland. So, but I'm now officially a friend of his on Facebook. So, thumbs up to that. So I'm kind of in the cool crowd now. It's going to be kind of interesting to follow him and see what they do when they go back to. It's Iceland, right? I'm pretty sure it's Iceland where they're from. So, Gudberg, yeah, that's it. But I can't, yeah. So, anyway, rocking, good stuff, loved it. Yeah, Herb Brown just checked in, had a fun time, his longest gravel ride ever, and you finished. So, excellent job, Herb Brown. Alrighty, let's see. That puts me next. So, I mentioned Kai Cordes, Kai, not Kyle, with his 8th place overall and 1st place open win at the Shawnee Gravel Growler. Well, prior to that, we got to go up last Friday, and Kai had a college signing. Hint my Fort Lewis college cycling T-shirt here, thanks to his mother, Angela Cordes. We had a huge crew up, got to show up. And for those of you that are used to the norm, I mean, what do you have? You know, some kid's going to go play baseball in college. Some kid's going to go play football. Somebody's going to go shoot some hoops. And they have their little letter of intent signing. And we're used to that out here in Oklahoma world. But this is the first one I've ever gone to for cycling. And I'm hoping it's not the last. I'm hoping we see more and more of this, and I hope we see this young man lead and do some things that will allow some of our, other young kids to look up to and say, hey, I can do that too. But we made a trip over to Lawton. Kai had family and friends, school administrators, teachers, mentors, coaches, his whole Medicine Park crew, mom and dad. And he was there for his college signing. And he got to sign his letter of intent. He's going to Fort Lewis College to go do some bike riding, get a college degree, become a degreed young man, and at the same time, race some bikes in Durango, Colorado. So that's pretty cool. Can't beat that. And it's taken something which most of us have gotten used to growing up as being the weird kids to now it's kind of cool. And it was funny and seeing in that library where you had some of his friends that were football players and, things like that. And they're in there and cheering him on and thinking that it was really cool. And that's good to see. And that's just some good young leadership. And I can't wait for more of that. So. See what we got. We got several comments on that. Angel Cordes says you're welcome for the tea. Yeah, thank you. And Tony Stewart says it was cool to be part of Kai's signing. I agree. It was very cool. I'm just glad to be a small part of that, and I can't wait to see what happens down the road. Tony says Nehemiah is inspired. Was on a trainer an hour tonight, so that's good to see. So already right there, we've got one kiddo that's just stoked. It's the difference when some, you know how the rule is. It's like you tell your kids to do something, and they're like, you're just a dumbass. You're just mom, or you're just dad. You don't know anything. But then, like, a friend of theirs can tell them the exact same thing, and they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to go do that. So, that's what I kind of liken this to. You got Kai here. Kai's their age. He's a young man fixing to become a college freshman. He's a senior in high school. And, these young kids can look up to him and say, oh, he's close to my age. So, yeah, he might know what he's talking about. But, some old guy like me with a beard and, they're going to be like, he's just some old guy. Welcome, John Vidito. Angela Cordes says, Kai is the best support crew. Thanks for all who've had a hand in this. And there's been a lot of people, and that's the whole, Angela, and that's the whole thing. There has been a lot of people that's been involved in Kai's success, but the simple fact is he did the work. He had the support necessary. But more importantly, our community, especially with our cycling community, whether it be our dirt community is what I call it, because it ventures to gravel, it ventures some to cross. It's definitely mountain bike. And the simple fact is that community is available to everybody, adults, kids, doesn't matter. I mean, we have that kind of mentality and we have those kind of people in place. And that's what I love about this cycling community that I'm involved in, is that that is available. And all it takes is someone to take advantage of it. And that's what makes this a beautiful sport. Welcome, Malcolm McCollum. All right. All right. Thumbs up, guy. Go kick some butt next year. Make me proud. Go whoop Ted's butt on Tuesday night rides. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see those posts. All righty, I want to move into one quick one. Buddy Charlie Lingerfelt, he's a gravel guy. He does some racing. I'm kind of slacking on the. I didn't go to the liquor store tonight, and I'm probably going to be snowed in tomorrow. So luckily, I have some box wine rolling. I still got a couple more natter days, but I'm gonna get me a little natty light here going. Charlie hit me up. Charlie's more of a gravel. I don't know. I think he's more of a gravel adventurer. He does do races, but I think he really digs the adventure side, the multi-day, the bike packing, things of that nature. And he has an event coming up this coming weekend. I talked about it. Same weekend as this. This is my open weekend. I can't make his event. I posted my very first comment, like one of the very first comments on this thread, was a link to his event page. Probably should just do that again, just so that I have it in there twice. I think I've already got it copied. I just have to paste it. Yep, sure enough. So I'm going to paste it again. It just popped in there. And for $35 to $75, depending on what package you want, they have it's kind of like a gravel camp. It's called A2G. I don't know what A2G stands for. It's probably something that I'm just not figuring out. 2020 winter weekend gravel ride. But it's not just a gravel ride. It's kind of an overnight camp. So the idea is that I think you're going to show up Saturday early, set up camp, gather firewood, prepare camp for the evening and for dinner that evening, and then you're going to go out and get a ride. Ride's going to be 70 miles. Wrote it down, but I got to find it. 70 miles and like 7,800 feet of climbing. So I will say this is in Talamina area. So it's going to be in the, this Talamina state park area. The event page has all the information, location, all of that, which has been posted twice on here. A2G, Addicted to Gravel. See, I should have known that, Ryan Palom, but Ryan Palom just threw that in there. And that's Charlie's handle on some of this stuff, Addicted to Gravel. And I'm just like, I'm slow, and I haven't even really been drinking that much tonight. Oh yeah, you guys got to try some natter days. And then after that ride, they're going to come back, have dinner, camp. Get up the next morning, and the options will be to ride some more or do some hiking. There's some hiking trails in the area, and that's the event. So there's probably going to be, it's going to be a lot of, community and talking and hanging out and discussing gravel and bike packing and all that good stuff. A lot of information shared, and I'd recommend going and signing up. I know, Charlie loves this stuff, and I do some bike packing as well too. I have to admit, I kind of weenie my way out. I usually don't camp. I usually just I carry what I need to get from point to point, and I like bum places to stay for people that I know, because I know a lot of people. So I just like bum a couch. That's what I did this summer. I just bummed couches along the way, and then got a hotel when I had to. But anyway, I definitely highly recommend this. Charlie's on here now, so you can contact him directly. You can use my link to go out there and get you the contact information, his direct contact information. But Yeah, this will be fun. I mean, I think the weather is, like I said, it's going to be a little chilly in the morning, but I think this weekend's actually still supposed to be okay. I mean, it's not going to be as nice as last weekend, but I mean, come on. Last weekend was ridiculous and unexpected. So, but yeah, so let me go back up and see what we got here. So, Tony Stewart says we need a selfie from Kai on that Tuesday night ride with Ted getting dropped. So for you guys don't know, we got a little conversation going between between Tony and Kai and me, and I made a smart ass statement about that a minute ago. So Durango, Colorado has like all these badass riders. Still race. Some are retired, like Ned Overend. Well, I don't know. Did he really retire? He retired sort of, but I mean, he's like 65 and he still like whips up on guys that are 25. But they have this Tuesday night Worlds ride that they do in Durango, Colorado, and it's not like your normal Tuesday night ride. So you better bring your A game and your pro game if you want to hang on. So that's the conversation that we've been having over here, talking about that. So it's like they're all pros, like, Ned Overend, Howard Grotz, Todd Wells, Kai's teammate Payson. I mean, come on, these are all professional or ex-professional riders, and so it's pretty sweet. So Tony told the story. He says, I raced Ned in a cyclocross race at a specialized Delaware race once. Got the whole shot when Ned passed me, said, nice start, then rolled away like I was in sand. Oh, great. Okay, let's get to the money shot here. We're at 46 minutes, so I'm going to be rolling about an hour like I expected. So let me tap over here to YouTube to make sure no one's checked in. Yeah, if it was just Charlie and Bryce. So Charlie did check in over on Facebook. So Bryce, hey, thanks for hanging in if you're still there. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask him, Bryce, and I'll try to get back to him in a minute. And so we're going to lead in with the next section. So USAC has made some changes. I think a week and a half ago, or as early. No, I guess it was just like early last week. Yeah, you're welcome, Charlie. You bet, man. Thanks for hitting me up on that. I just wasn't aware of that. I'd missed that. So, I think it was early last week. A couple people posted a thread. Chad Shank started it, and then I think someone else posted it on another group page that I was involved in. And it was basically some USAC changes. It really consisted of a picture up at the top that talked about the upgrade, and it was kind of a diagram picture, of the upgrade, of a new upgrade process. And so the thing is it was kind of deceiving because the picture was just one link and it was shared on one page. And the problem with that is that if you actually Google it, you go to a page and it talks about the new upgrade rules. And then there's like cyclocross, road, mountain bike, and you have all these different links. And when you linked on one, the diagram at the top was actually different, and it matched road, it matched cross, it matched mountain bike. But the two threads on Facebook that I saw were mountain bike. And the problem with that is that it involved roadies and it involved cyclocross people, and they were all freaking out because of all these changes in the look. And the thing is the diagram didn't match their particular discipline. But those diagrams are out there. It's just that they were only looking at it. And also, you have to scroll down to get what the actual real intent of that page was, because it was not actually at the top. The diagram at the top was not actually the main point. The information down below was the main point. And so the main point of that is that the lower classes, so Cat 5, road and cross, Cat 3, mountain bike, I think downhill's 1, 2, and 3. Like us, I don't do downhill, so I think that's a 3. So there are no lower classes anymore. So whatever your lowest class is, whether it's I'm pretty sure it's just Cat 5 or Cat 3, those no longer exist. And they still exist. They're still there. It's just a name change. That's all it is. It's nomenclature. It's just a name. So we are no longer going to be calling them Cat 3s, and I'm going to start asking my promoters. At this point, I'm going to shift over, and I'm not talking road. I'm not talking cross. That's not my thing. It's not my topic. Mountain bike's my thing. I do a little gravel. So mountain bike's what I'm going to talk about here with the change. The name change is that our Cat 3s will now be called novices. That's it. It's a novice category. And it's just a terminology change. I think it's a good change. I think it's a smart change. It takes us back previously, before they had numbers, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. We had, expert, sport, beginner. We had words instead of numbers. It makes no difference to me, but I've been in the business a long time. But as a race director, as a series director, as someone who's doing everything that they can to try to draw people into racing mountain bikes, not just riding mountain bikes, but to racing mountain bikes, because I feel that there is a benefit to racing mountain bikes. I know a lot of people want to go ride mountain bikes all the time. But for me, there's some satisfaction in racing, and I think there's a lot to gain, both physically, mentally, structurally, life learning, everything to race, compete. And it's just my way of life. It's my thought process, and I want people to feel those same things. And so I like the terminology change. I think that can help us draw people in. So we'll talk more about pros, cons, whatever. So anyway, that's the main change. We are no longer going to have Cat 3s. Rules aren't changing. Everything's the same for the most part. But they're just not going to be called Cat 3. They're going to be called a novice. And I think that the connotation of that name change is a positive one. I think that trying to talk someone new to come into racing and say, hey, we have a novice category. To me, that's more enticing than, hey, yeah, you could come in and race Cat 3. And they're like, oh shit, I got to race Cat 3. What's that? That's a race category. I'm racing. And so, but when you say, hey, we have a novice category, they feel a little more comfortable, a little less scared, a little less leery. And I think that's a positive move. I'm sure that's why they're making the move. There is an actual reason for it, but the reasons, I think I just said the reason, even though that's not really it. The official reason is, I don't have it on the sheet. Sorry. I don't have it on that sheet of paper. So anyway, Tony says he's a novice with Natter Days. Need to get some podiums. Get some podiums, and you can get a podium with a Natter Day in your hand. That's what you need, Tony. Barry David's in the house. Rest nicely. John Chenault. Hey, Barry, I'm going to finish my discussion here, but if you have some info to post as to your event coming up on the 16th, throw it out here so that we can know, man. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The only other significant change that I saw in that post from last week was the diagram at the top. It did have field sizes. So it talked about that in mountain biking, you can upgrade at will. You can go from Cat 1 to Cat 2. You can go from I'm going backwards. You can go from Cat 3 to Cat 2, and you can go from Cat 2 to novice. God dang it, to Cat 1. Sorry, novice to 2, 2 to 1. This is just messing me up. At will, if you feel like you're good enough to go up, unlike cross, unlike road, where you have to have certain number of starts, you have to have X number of finishes, you have to do a certain load of racing before they allow you to go up. And I get that. The numbers are different. The danger's different. The terrain, you're riding in packs. There's a different danger level of safety, and it requires some rules to allow you to move up to a better category, because we don't want unsafe riders in those disciplines. That's not really an issue with mountain biking. And honestly, MUSAC really doesn't care that much because they know that it's mountain biking and those things don't really impact mountain biking. So those aren't changes. That's always the way it's been. You've always been able to cat up whenever you choose to cat up. All it takes is talking to me, and I make an email to somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, no worries," or you just fill it out online and they approve you. I don't know that it's ever not been approved. It's easy. However, the one change that has been made is how you are forced or mandatory to upgrade from a novice to a 2 or from a 2 to a 1. And the only difference that I saw is that it had a field limit size of 15. So you had to have 5 top 5s, 5 top 5 finishes in any USA cycling race during that year. One thing I will preface that a lot of people forget about, that is all races. So if you're doing Arkansas cross country, you're doing Texas cross country, you're doing Oklahoma cross country, all of those count for your upgrade. So if you have 5 top 5 finishes in any of those states, it counts. But the key is you have to have those in a field size of 15. What are the odds that you're going to have a field size of 15? Well, it depends on what age group you are and what category. There's a few hotbeds of spots, in the Cat 3s where there's a ton of people. There's 15 every time. There's a couple of spots in the Cat 2s. That's really about it. In the past, that number of field size fluctuated from 5 to 15, 5, 10, or 15, depending on your age, because they just broke it up in age groups, also into gender, male and female. So it just depended on that, whether it was a field limit of, or a field minimum size of 5 or 10 or 15. Now it appears that it's 15. So I don't know that that's going to be hugely significant. For us, it will affect us a little bit. Probably going to require me to do some more talking to some people who don't want to upgrade, that are not going to be mandatory. But honestly, I think we've got a really good thing in our series, and I don't think this is going to impact us whatsoever. I think in the past we've had some issues with it. And Alan, that is a big issue. Alan White just says Cat 1 in Oklahoma is up there with the best in the nation, and he's absolutely right. I mean, I know we're flatlanders. Now we can't go to Colorado and smash just because of altitude. But we can go up there and do pretty good. But we can go anywhere under 5,000 feet, and you take our top 10 riders, and those top 10 are going to be in podium spots. And a lot of those people could even be in podium spots with some of the semi-pros. So we absolutely have strong riders. So I think we have a great upgrade process. I mean, a lot of it just, I'm in touch. I see the riders. You guys come talk to me when you're thinking about it. We discuss it. There's probably not been one rider that's upgraded or downgraded in the past 3 or 4 years that hadn't just come to me and talked to me about it. And give them some good advice. Prior to me being in charge of this and having to deal with it, and honestly, even me, before I really had any experience at leadership like this, I advised some people to move up to Cat 1 too soon. I've changed my thoughts on that so many times, and I used to be just dead set because I went from 2 to 1. And that is what I did. That's it. I was committed. That's my thing. And I was like, I didn't understand why other people couldn't do that and why they couldn't commit the time and the training to do that. But that's not reality. I'm a different cat, and I have a different lifestyle, and some people can't do that. And so pushing people to that Cat 1 too quickly can end them, simply put. And it has several people. So I have no problem upgrading people from 3 to 2, novice to 2, but I'm a little more leery about, pushing people up to Cat 1. So anyway, it's just my thoughts. But the thing is none of these rules affect that. USAC's still pretty lenient with that. They let us do our thing, and we make it all happen correctly. So let me look at some comments, and then I'm going to come up with the next part, which is super, super cool for you novices. So let's see. Yams Garmin is in the house. What's up? There's some shit talking going on between Alan and Tony. It's awesome. Oh, Tony Stewart says Alan. Tony Stewart says Alan White. That's why I downgraded to Cat 2. Dad bod beer squad. Oh. Dude, Tony, the whole dad bod thing just drives me crazy. I don't know why. I guess because I'm a dad and I don't have the dad bod, and I'll never have a dad bod, and it just, I don't know, it irks me for whatever reason. It's funny how weird things like that happen. So Andrew Foster says, so technically we could race as a novice for life. Well, actually, probably not. If you look at there, because and the reason we can is because we actually have really big. We typically have really big Cat 3 fields, so you're going to have fields of 15, and you're going to have to move up. So, and I'm going to hound you, and if you're really sandbagging as a 3, I'm going to hound you until you move up appropriately. Anyway, Andrew. So, Lauren Sharp, Julian, what's happening? And Jeremy Black says it's a personal decision, but you don't get faster staying where you're at. And Jeremy, I agree with that. But I also agree that there is a mentality that you have to be ready for that. And unfortunately, I can name 3 or 4 people right off the top of my head that I'm not going to name. A couple of these people have not been back to cycling since then. They made the commitment to move up without the commitment to do the training, and it basically ended them from cycling in general. And that was because they were not mentally prepared to do the work to survive as a Cat 1. And so that's the key. It's not how good you are. It is how prepared you are to do the work to succeed or to survive as a Cat 1. And that's the critical point. And for me, that's the judgment that I have to make when I'm helping people, advising people to make that jump. Jeremy, you obviously have that. You have the mentality, you have the work ethic, and you know that you're going to commit the time to train and prepare. And you also are hungry and you want that. So, yeah. And so that's good. And that's what it takes. And you're going to be fine at that. So. And Tony, you're absolutely right. And you should, and you're where you need to be. You're absolutely where you need to be. Bob Davis, what's happening? Okay, so I'm going to get to the second part of this, which is really freaking cool. And this is the part that has not been released yet. I can tell you the information. I just can't release the document that I have printed until they release until they make the actual release. I mean, maybe they, like I said, maybe they have, and I just missed it today because I had a meeting I had a tech meeting this morning, and I was kind of off the rails this afternoon, so haven't had a chance to really, really check the whole thing out. But the cool thing is, so now we have a novice category. One of the big things, and I've been preaching this for a long time, and I've done a few things for it, but I've just not been able to afford to continue to do these things. And that is, cost is a barrier to entry. For most of us that do a lot of racing, it's not, because that's just part of doing business. We're used to it. But the reality of it is, for a beginner, a novice, that they are not sure they want to race, they want to come check it out, the cost barrier is an impact. So USAC has addressed this, and for a novice rider, the licenses will be, or soon be, basically half. So a novice rider can get a standard license for $40, which is the current rate, same rate as a junior. They also have a $60 package, which is for a family. So let's say you can have up to 2 adults, mom and dad, both beginners. Sorry, I'm going back to beginners. I'm going to have to get this terminology right. Novice, which is currently Cat 3, but we're changing the terminology to novice. You can have mom and dad that are novice and up to 5 juniors in that family that are also novice. So that's 7 riders. I mean, I'm assuming, that, and you can get a $60 package for the whole family. Now, that doesn't impact a lot of us because a lot of us are, we're racing Cat 2 or Cat 1, and kids are racing different categories. But regardless, $60 for a whole family. If you happen to fit in that mold, that's pretty sweet. 1-day licenses are not changing. So you're talking $10 a race if you pay a 1-day. So if you're an individual novice rider that you want to come try a race, you can buy a $40 license that is good for a year. It means you do 4 races, you've just made your money back. 4 races all year in any state, any USAC race. It could be any USAC gravel race, which there's not many of those yet. USAC cross country, USAC marathon, USAC road, USAC cyclocross, any of those. And as a novice, that license applies. $40, not bad. I'll address that in a minute, Ryan. And no, they also have a $40 upgrade package. So let's say that you are a novice and, or, you have a family membership or something at the novice level, and one of you upgrades, you have to pay an additional $40 to make that upgrade. And that gets you about the $80 mark, which is where we're at. I think I paid like $87 this year. I don't know why. There was a lot of taxes, and then I think we're supposed to pay doping fees. I don't know, but it's like, I think I'm at around it's like $87 to $90. I'm not really sure, honestly, but I mean, that's really not bad. I mean, shit, I spent as much as that at the liquor store the other day, one time, and that $87, $90. Everybody whines about it being expensive, but I mean, the reality of it is it's all year long. That's a year long. That's an annual license. So Brent White's in the house. What's happening? David Taylor's in the house. I just saw it up top. So Ryan Palumbo asked a very good question. I do not have an answer for that, Ryan. I asked, but I didn't get a response. I will ask again tomorrow and see if I can get a response. I wondered that as well. So the problem is that we are already in February. So a lot of us have already renewed our licenses at the current rate. So if you are a Cat 3/novice, many of you probably have already purchased your license. So what happens if they change the rates? Is there something for 2020? And the answer is, I don't know. It's not on this. It's not part of this document that they sent me. I don't know. If I get an answer, I will definitely let you know. So for those of you that have not purchased the 2020 license, we're planning on doing 1-days. I highly recommend going out, getting an annual license, paying your $40. Probably, though, don't do that yet because they haven't released this statement, which means that if you go online like tonight or tomorrow or even this week, it's probably still the old system. So just sit on this a while. You don't have to make any decisions right now. But just know that this is coming. That's the change that's going to happen. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for us. From a race series director and a race promoter, I think this is a great thing because, as I've mentioned before, a huge issue that we have is a barrier to entry. That barrier is cost, and that barrier is the simple fact that a lot of people, they want to ride their bike, they don't want to race their bike, and the idea of racing and competing freaks them out. And I think the terminology allows us to ease them in, makes it sound not quite so racy. Just going to come do a novice race. It's not so bad. You're a novice. Just come hang out, which is really what we do. And then we throw in a little race, which is basically just like a glorified, bike ride. Some people bike ride it. Some people race it. It's different for everybody. But you know, I think this is a good move. So we'll and time will tell how it all works. But I mean, honestly, for us, I think this is a good thing. So this gives me two selling points. One, it gives me the ability to tell someone that they can come in as a novice, which I think has a much better connotation. And I can tell them that they get to pay half of what the rest of us pay and half of what they used to pay. So from a business standpoint, that's a good marketing tool. And I think that's a good possible way to start drawing some new people in. So hopefully it will work. And I like this move. I know people bitch about USAC a lot, and they're always whining about sanctioning, hence all the gravel stuff that's been out there lately. But I'm not a big proponent. I mean, I don't oppose it that much. I've been working with USAC forever, and I like what they do. They've definitely not ruined my sport. I don't know. So anyway, let's see. Let's see. Good news for novice riders to whet their appetite. Bob, I agree. Kevin Wagner says if you use it, it's a bargain. I agree. And Kevin Wagner also says Tour de Dirt races are way cheaper than road events. And you are again correct, Kevin. But again, I'm thinking from the standpoint of the novice rider coming in for the first time that's bringing his wife and one kid. And, his wife wants to race and he wants to race, they've got to pay $25 and then they've got to turn around, it's going to be 30 if they have to pay the $5. And then they're going to have to pay $10 each for a one day because they don't have a license. Then their kid wants to race. And I mean, it's probably free or at least $20 is about the most, depends on how old. So you got to think that's a chunk of change for a family to come out. As an individual, not so bad, but I totally get it. I mean, I pretty much only have to worry about paying for myself. And, being that I run the show, I don't have to pay for the Tour de Dirt stuff. So I just have to pay for my USAC license. Yeah. John Denton says, I think of it just becomes a donation to USAC. And I agree, it does. But USAC provides a lot of good things. And they do a lot of good stuff. So they get a bad rap. But, I mean, the reality of it is they do a lot of good things. So. Andrew says, should have done this sooner. Maybe I wouldn't have stressed myself out and bonked the last few races. All right, let's see. Well, we are 112 in. I had one other possible topic, but I'm going to skip that topic. If you guys have any last minute questions or comments about this last thing I talked about or anything you want to discuss, pop it in there. I'm going to roll over and check YouTube and see if I've missed anything there. So I switched eyes. I'm here in Wichita Falls. Excellent. Okay, so Brian Nichols said he switched over. Brian was over on my YouTube side, and he said the YouTube was lagging a couple seconds behind the Facebook, and so he switched on over. So yeah, just hit me up, Bryce, and I can answer any questions you have. So yeah, so come on out to Steed, and we'll definitely make it happen. So. So Tony Stewart says, rider culture has grown like crazy with the revelation that is adventure and gravel. It's connected really well with people. And it's cool to see USAC see that and realign. I agree, Tony. And, I'm honestly looking at doing some promoting a couple of one-off gravel events here and there and some gaps that we have. And I'm contemplating trying to see what USAC can offer. I think they have some good things to offer. And I think as long as they listen to riders and listen to promoters, and I think they realize that they kind of missed the ball on the gravel scene. And now they're kind of trying to come in. And I mean, I think everybody's worried about it. I don't think they should be. I think it's great that they want to become involved and they want to cater to the creed of gravel. And so I think they can probably do that. Yeah, Mike Pickle says I do road, mountain bike, gravel licenses. Okay. Yeah, same with me. I do it all. So, I mean, I do so many events. I make my money back quick. So Kim Brown's in the house. Julie Denton joined. Mark Fiegel, what's happening, Mark? Alan says, "Shh, don't let our secret out." Sure, Kevin. Yeah, no, that's actually good. Kevin Wagner says, "What's the new bikereg.com about?" So, I thought it was actually supposed to start happening last year, but it just really didn't play out. The announcement was made last year. USAC, I mean, honestly, USAC struggles with their website. They just do. They've had plenty of people offer to help them. They've got money to buy people that can do that kind of stuff, but whatever reason, they can't get their website figured out. It's difficult. They made the change to the new website like 2 years ago, but you still access some of the stuff from the legacy website. It's just kind of janked up. I don't know why. I mean, I really don't. I don't have any context to answer those questions. But the one good move that they have is they realized over the past couple of years that continuing to try to in-house do online registration along with permitting and all the other stuff that they do was just not working, and they were not good at it. And there's all these other companies that are dedicated to it, that are good at it, and they have a dedicated site just for online registration. And they were like, heck with that. Let's just contract out with somebody like BikeReg, and that's what they did. So they're just contracting with BikeReg, and so BikeReg is now going to handle all of the USAC registrations. So there's as the promoters are doing the permit, there's a way to go out and get your race promoter login on BikeReg through USAC. It's pretty simple, and then you just go do your thing, and everything now is just going to be on BikeReg. And it was easy. I mean, I haven't done I've directed the series, but I haven't promoted a race. And when I did Steed, I had to actually go through the permit process. I had to create my online registration. Had to just crash in the back room. So one of my kids must be playing a game and something bad happened. And I created my online registration with BikeReg in like 30 minutes. So it's pretty cool. And I like the interface. I think you guys probably do too. It's pretty nice. Alan White, Trans Oklahoma. I know, right, Alan? I've got some other ideas too that I've been throwing around with Stephen Cordes and Scott Hutchins. Got some ideas. MTB and GG gravel are one and the same mind and culture, Andy. You're right, man. Gravel and mountain bike, very much the same. Zach Hood's in house. Kevin, I don't know about information. It's just BikeReg is now doing all the they're just doing all the, whatever the registration is. Yes, I don't think USAC is going to worry about managing the registrations. That's all going to be through BikeReg now. They've just third-partied all that out. It's all going to be through BikeReg. It's just that there's a link for us to get free accounts so that we don't have to pay to have an account and all that. So Zach Hood says I ride Cat 2 because I like the harder courses. I did 3 races at Cat 3 in 1 year. So yeah, a lot of people do that. But everybody's a little different. So some people want to move up because they want a longer distance or a harder course. And it's not always a harder course because most of our courses are the same. It's just a matter of distance. So not always. In fact, very rarely is it a different course. Turkey Mountain really is probably the only one. T-Bird has occasionally done a different course. All right. I think I've answered everything. I don't have any other questions. Let me go back up and make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm an hour and 20 minutes in, so it went a little longer than I anticipated. All righty. Well, I think I'm gonna roll out with that. If you guys have any questions or comments, if I have any updates to any of the information that I've talked about, especially this last one with the USAC and the licenses, this is the question that Ryan asked, I will definitely let you know. Until then, you guys have a good Snowmageddon. I don't know. Looks like a lot of you guys get day off tomorrow. I do. So sleep well. Good night.